13 forecast first, sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers.
Rise and shine, good morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm Adriana Cotero.
I'm Alexis King. It's Tuesday morning at 5 a.m.
Your favorite day. Our favorite day.
Yay, we're so excited. And you know what else? We know what else I'm not excited about? The heat that's coming and sticking around. Like, look, I get it. It's July in the South. It's not like it was going to be any other way.
True.
Right.
Really.
We don't get a cold snap.
We don't get a cold snap, but I have to say the people living inland are getting it a little bit harder than we're going to get it out here.
Yeah, I think we all felt it yesterday. It was very uncomfortable. It's very thick outside. Like, that's what you don't like, when you can like waft through the air. Like, you feel like you have to swim through it. That's what it felt like yesterday, and it's actually going to get worse as we get to the end of the work week. Temperatures are really only changing by 3 or 4 degrees, which doesn't sound like much, but that 3 or 4 degrees feels 10 degrees worse when we still have dew points that are well into the 70s. Humidity is 80 to 90%. It's just uncomfortable, but as you said, summer in the South.
I probably took 5 showers over the weekend and never felt like I got clean or dry.
Yeah. No, and you don't even want to take a hot shower, because the way you feel after a hot shower is how you feel when you're outside.
Yeah, there's no relief.
No, not really. So the pool, the beach was so nice.
Can we just talk about the water? Have you seen the water?
Girl, I was at the pool.
But the beach,
Alexis does the pool.
the ocean looked like pool water.
It looks like, it almost looks like the Caribbean.
Yeah, it does.
It's
it looks
crazy.
really, really blue, very teal, very aqua.
Hannah, I've been dying to ask you why.
It's because winds are nice and calm. You have to think the gustier it is, the more the sediment gets kicked up. And also rip currents are pulling the sand from the coast. So when rip currents are nice and low, you don't really have that pull, because that makes it look all mixed and dirtier. You know, like that's where you can see the color difference. That's why it's easier to spot rip currents, because the color is different because of the sand. But now rip currents are nice and low, and the water is able to settle and get really nice and pretty. It does kind of look like what you would see off of Florida's coast, or even water down in the Keys. Makes me want to go to the beach, even though I'm not really a beach person. I do love me a good pool. As we look, radar in satellite is looking pretty good. There's a little bit of some light showers off the coast. Notice that area of low pressure is pushing west into Florida. That is being watched by the National Hurricane Center. We have those details coming up a little later in the show, but we are going to wake up to dry conditions, just a little bit of some clouds and also some isolated patchy fog, just like yesterday. Temperature difference is not too dramatic. North Myrtle Beach is 5 degrees warmer though, and the temperature is 81 outside. We do have some low and mid 70s for inland, but definitely milder at the coast. Cheraw is reporting less than a mile of visibility. Cheraw was also the first city to see that fog build in, just like yesterday. And not completely dry. The afternoon is going to have a few spotty showers and storms, but overall not super impactful for rain today, but it is going to be hot. 86 and feeling like 96 at the beach, and 92 and feeling like 102.
Oh, joy. Thank you so much.
Anna Cortero, Alexis King, and meteorologist Hannah Ronner. You're watching Number 1 News 13 this morning.
The time now is 5:54, and we do have a little bit of some low-lying clouds that we're currently seeing for that live look that we just saw before break out over the Grand Strand. But, you know, again, it's got a periodic cloud cover. Still see some clear skies and some nice colors coming through, but nonetheless, mix of sun and clouds for this morning. Some areas are going to see some denser fog, and clouds will be increasing as we're going to see our rain chances increasing later during the mid-afternoon, likely in conjunction when the sea breeze front will form and begin to push inland. So kind of think the early afternoon for the beach and parts of Horry County, and then closer to the interstate during the evening commute. So again, those showers are pretty small though. They're not going to be widely impactful for most of us, but technically not a completely dry day, but kind of like yesterday, wasn't very overwhelming for the rain, and a majority of the area did stay dry. Temperatures are going to match what we saw yesterday, which is mid and upper 80s for the coast and lower 90s for inland, but accounting for dew points well into the mid 70s. It is going to feel 10 degrees hotter. The heat index around 101 to 103, so this is below the criteria for getting a heat advisory, but nonetheless still extremely uncomfortable. And the beaches are going to feel like the upper 90s. It is going to get hotter for the end of the work week, and at that time likely to see some heat advisories issued into the weekend. Tomorrow is going to be the rainiest day of the work week, especially for the areas east of I-95. So this is kind of what it looked like yesterday. So growing confidence as to where we're going to see some coverage for rain. Early afternoon tomorrow, we don't see a ton on the west side of the interstate, but just watch that for the early and mid-afternoon for the rainiest part of your Wednesday, and then we're back to pop-up showers and storms for Thursday and Friday. Other parts of the country are going to be bracing for more tropical moisture and likely more threats for flooding, as this is currently designated as Invest 93L off of Florida's east coast, will be crossing Florida and then entering the Gulf. 40% chance of seeing this become a tropical depression, and eventually it is going to curve to the northeast. However, whether it curves right after it's done crossing Florida or it continues west for a day and then begins to curve, that's going to be the question to watch, but likely we're watching for Thursday and Friday to see the impacts along the Gulf Coast. At the beaches, winds are southeast at 5 to 10. The water temperature's at 86, and there's a low rip current risk in effect. Temperatures will be near normal for the next couple of days, and then again hotter as we wrap up the work week. 90 for the beach and 96 for inland.